And we're just going to splice this little bit in here. Just for anyone who is watching this video the same day it's uploaded, this is actually the progress we made this very day, but there's a backlog of about 4 other production videos that I have yet to edit from back during the crunch time sprint that ended yesterday. So as I have time over the next week or so, I'll be editing and uploading those videos, but I'll carefully name them so they'll numerically make sense and fit into place. Hey everyone, I'm here with Corey. Say hi, Corey.
Hey, how's it going?
And today we are going to be working on wrapping up the basic and maybe the only Fishman. But this Fishman has a special behavior where you're going to see a shadowy shape on the surface of the swamp water, and it's going to scroll around fairly quickly along the bottom, and then it'll pop up at a pretty long range distance from the player, either in front of him or behind him, and then the Fishman will pop up out of the water and spit his attack at the player after landing. So we're going to see if we can get that behavior working. So, in order to do that, the first thing we're going to need is to create a sprite object for the shadow on the surface of the swamp water. So, let's see, this is specific to this level, so I might as well create it right in here. So I'll just create a sprite, and we will right-click down here and import frames from a strip. I think you already saved out a strip. A water shadow, here it is. So there's that, and then 2. There we go. And then that's perfect. And beautiful. Okay, so and we'll make the animation loop. Maybe make it a little bit faster. And we will also rename it to Fishman Shadow. Alright, and we're also going to give it a, let me think, shall I give it a bullet behavior? I think so. Bullet BUL. Alright, and 400 is probably too fast, I would say almost certainly. Set angle, no. And initial state, we'll do disabled, I think. Then again, I'm thinking right now maybe it's worth it to use spawners, so we could, I think we should use, because with the frogs we could just, depending on the way the frog was facing, left or right, that determines what kind of a spawner it is, but it's super hard to tell if this is flipped left or right.
Right.
So that would make sort of choreographing the gameplay really difficult. So I guess I'll bring this back to enabled at start, and we'll be spawning these, and because we're going to be spawning them, then it does make more sense to put them in the sprite or layout. Like this is the storehouse where we edit the default version of everything. Like if we want to set its behaviors or its variables to their default, we go in here into the sprite or layout to do that. But anyway, so now we need to create... Theoretically, I could reuse the flying enemy spawner, but yeah, I guess just so I don't end up confusing myself like I did last time when I tried to quote-unquote save time by reusing something, I think I'll just create this from scratch. So let's see, double-click, sprite, make it 16 by 16 pixel, and we will just go, let's see, something like this. There we go. And we'll call it Fishman Shadow Spawner. Make sure it's in the foreground layer where it belongs. And then we'll just make another one. And I guess instead of creating a second sprite just for this, I'll just flip it, and we'll have it check if it's flipped or not. There we go. We'll put this one over here. And I'm sure we're going to need some instance variables such as a speed, intentionally misspelled, and we'll make the default 60. And then we'll have another variable which will be called behind or front. And that's kind of misleading because the player could be turned around and facing the other way. So maybe I'll make it left or right instead. Okay, yep, number, and we will make it by default 1, which will be right side of the screen. Okay, and then this one will make it left, which will be -1. So this one is +1, and this one is -1. All right. So now we have the spawners, and eventually we need to make them invisible. I might as well do that now. Initial state visible, we'll turn it to invisible. Okay, so now we can go right into the events to get this rolling here. So we're gonna go into specifically the level 3, which is the swamp events. But what I think I should do is go to gameplay events and just steal one of, let's see, I think it's called flying. If I steal some of this logical stuff, then it'll save me a little bit of time. Spawner right, spawner left, viewport, yeah, that's all fine. Alright, so we'll do that. Control C. Go back here. And then we'll just paste it down the bottom for now. And what we're gonna do is get rid of this, but for this we're going to replace condition, and we're actually going to do fish shadow, fishman shadow. Okay, oh no, we want the spawner back, this here, and then we're going to check if it's mirrored. And here we need to check if it's not mirrored. But these have to be the fishman spawner, replace object. One at a time, I guess. Fishman spawner, okay. And then same thing here, replace object. And fishman. How's that alphabet work again? There we go. Okay. And then this is going to spawn something, but not the flying enemy, but we're going to replace the object. We're replacing this with the spawner, and we're replacing this with this. Okay. And this is, if it, oh, is mirrored twice. This should not be the case. So this is invert. So now in this case, these are all good except for this. But these two are good. We just need to replace object. And there it is. Okay. So we spawn it, we mirror it, and we really don't even need to mirror it in this case. So I guess I'll get rid of that. And then that's good, and then yes, the spawner should destroy itself, so we will replace object, and there we go. Alright, that's all good. So same thing here. In fact, we can just copy both of these down here to save a little time. Delete this, and yep. That's fine. We don't need to change the angle because 0 is correct, the angle of motion, but we do need to set the speed of this to, so set speed to the spawner's speed variable. So fishman, nope, it should be down here. Fishman. Alright. And then speed. That's good. Same thing here. And then the other variable, we need to make a variable in the fishman. In this, it's this thing here. So instance variable, we'll just do left or right. So we're going to pass that value on from the spawner as well. Oops, there we go. So we are going to find fishman shadow. Fishman shadow, set value of left or right, that's good, to the spawners left or right. Should be right, there it is, okay. Left hand side. Left or right, left or right. Okay. And same exact thing here. So now it spawns it, it sets the speed, it sets the angle appropriately. So if I run it, we should at least see those shadows go across the screen. Yep, there's one. And let's see if the other one comes from the other angle when we scroll a little bit. Yep, there it is. Okay, so that's working. They're not well placed, but that's no big deal. In fact, what we can do to make it easier to edit the level so we don't have to be super careful is we can create an event that says on start of layout. On start of layout, where is it? On start of layout. I was in the wrong thing. I need to be here. Add another condition. Yep, for each. Alrighty, for each one of these, and we are going to set its Y position. And this is going to be some guessing at the moment. So set Y, and then we'll do, where is the floor collide? Bounding box top plus something like 40 pixels. We'll see. We'll know quickly.
I think that was a song, wasn't it?
What's that?
This is what it's like when floors collide.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I have vague memories of that song.
Yeah, I think maybe.
Yep.
Like I might have to edit the shadow image a little bit so it shows up maybe a little better. It does blend in pretty strongly with the water,
right.
But we'll see.
Yeah, we have to. Oops, that's too low now.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room down there to show it.
All right. 50. Let's try that. There, that's pretty decent. That's perfect, actually. I don't know. I think the visibility might be perfect. Like, it is swampy, murky water, and kind of the whole point is you have to be paying attention. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I guess once it's all working, we should playtest the level, and if it's a little too hard to see them coming, then you could just add some highlights to it as well or something. But anyway,
was it animating or was it?
Yeah, it was.
The animation was so subtle. I didn't.
Yeah. So I'll replay it one more
just
time.
Be the frame rate on my screen or something.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah, that's very true. Yep, it's animating and it is properly looping, but it is subtle. But that's also not necessarily a bad thing.
That's not.
But yeah, definitely we can decide based on gameplay after the fact to see if it needs to be more obvious. But anyway, as always, save progress whenever you make any actual, any progress. But anyway, so what we need to do now is, depending on this value, so we're going to add event, and we're going to check fishman, compare instance value, left or right equals -1, which is left. And this is an interesting one. We almost need to create a little window. Let me think. Oh no, I don't want the spawner, I want the actual shadow. Silly me. So let me try that again. This. Compare instance value, left or right equals -1. Okay. So now, because theoretically I want it to be able to come from the left and then just scroll in a little bit and then he'll hop out, or he can come in from the left and go all the way to the right hand side of the screen and pop out in front of you, or the same thing. So I can't just say if it's left or right equals -1, and once his x is greater than the left edge of the screen, because if he spawned all the way on the right end of the screen, that's instantaneously true, so he'll pop out of the water off screen. So I need to create a little tiny window of positions. It has to be greater than something and less than something. So once it goes within that range, that'll make it safely work for regardless of whether it's coming from the left or right. Let's see, so add another condition. So we're going to compare his position here. So let me think. Compare x is greater than, so this will be the left hand side of the screen, but we also have to keep in mind there's padding on the side, quite a thick one. So do you happen to remember, or would you be able to relatively quickly check how many pixels wide the frame image is? If not, I can do it here. But for the Amiga template overlay, for the that looks like the Amiga that you made. If not, I'm sure I can find it.
Let me check real quick. Yeah.
All right. Just how many pixels wide is the left and right border edge? I'm assuming they're both pretty much the same exact width. All right. So in the meantime, I need to find left, viewport left, and then plus, and this should be FG. And then just whatever number Corey tells us is the number to put in there.
Yeah, I'm looking for it real quick.
Yep. And actually I will also add, because it needs to be visible on screen and not like half off the screen, so we'll add like 20 pixels to that for now. And maybe 24. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so as soon as you find that number.
So I think the sides are 54 pixels wide.
All right, excellent. Okay, so there's that, and then so it has to be at least that, but it cannot be greater than. So now we have less than. So we're just going to buffer this more, and we're going to make it like 44. So that'll create a, I think, if my math is right, like a 20 pixel range, where once it's in that range, regardless of if it's coming from left or right, then it's going to do whatever we're going to have it do right here, which is going to, we need another object, I just realized. The splash, which looks really nice. I look forward to getting all this functional in the game. So I'm going to clone something that already disappears on its own, like this effect. And I'm just going to clone it and double click and right click, import frames from strip, I believe, the splash, SPL, yep, open, and I think it's, is it 3 or 4 frames? Do you remember? The splash? 3, that's what I thought too. Yes, yep, alright, fantastic, and then we need its hotspot to be right about there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how these water effects would look, but we'll find out. If I have to change them, I will.
This is one of those things you definitely need to see functioning in game before you really know.
Right.
So we'll call this splash. All right. So save progress and back to level 3 events. So we are going to create. First, we'll create the fishman actually. So we are going to create object, general, create object, fishman, at layer FG, and at the X and Y position of the little shadow thing, which is called fish something. Fishman shadow, X and Y. And the nice thing is we're going to do the same exact thing with Oh man, they're not going to let me. Oh yeah, no, I can double click and edit. Good. I thought it won't let me replace the object because one thing's a spriter file and we want a regular construct sprite. But I realized I can just click edit and change this one thing here to the splash sprite. Oops. There we go. So, because we're creating the second, it will have Z order over the fishman, which is what I want. If we did this, the fishman would be over the splash and it would ruin the effect. Mm-hmm. So, the other really important thing, we have to immediately set the animation of the fishman to, I think we named it jump. Let me open up the spriter file to make sure. Yeah, I'll open up the spriter file in a second. Set animation. I think jump, but let's double check. We'll go in here. Fishman, load him up. Sip some water. And, drum roll please, jump lowercase. There we go. And it is looping, which is perfect. Okay. Great. All right. So, that's good. And we also need to, because he is a humanoid, he has that built-in gravity behavior. So we need to make him jump up. So that's going to be Fishman. Okay, so set value, Y velocity. I really don't remember, but I think it's a pretty small number required. This might be way too high, but we'll know shortly. All right, and then we have to destroy the fish shadow. So, fishman, destroy. Okay, and then I'm just going to immediately copy and paste and change this to left to right equals 1 so that we could test both at once. And then this should be viewport right instead of viewport left. And this should be less than viewport right FG, and then these will both be minus, or I can do this, minus 54 plus 24 in parentheses. Basic algebra actually paying off. Pay careful attention, everyone. When people tell you you don't use it in real life, you do sometimes if you're making games.
Yeah, definitely algebra. It's when you get into like trigonometry that you realize you're probably never going to use it.
Right. Unless you're a physicist or something.
Yeah, unless you're a physicist or a mathematician or professor or something.
Right. Let's see. And this will be greater than, and we're going to do viewport right again. I should have copied that in anticipation, but I'm tired. I don't think of such things when I'm tired. Viewport right, layer FG, and then minus. So unless I botched this, which is very possible, this should all work, but in one of these cases, the fishman's going to need to turn around, and it's this one. He needs to turn around, so we're going to, I'm pretty sure I got this right, at least. Fishman, set mirrored. Here, set mirrored. It's up higher for normal sprites. It's lower for spriter objects. Mirror x-axis. Okay. Now this probably isn't finished. It's probably going to behave in a strange way because we don't have anything yet, I don't think. Like he might just suddenly switch to the spit animation mid-jump or something like that. We don't have anything making sure he doesn't do something else instead of staying in the jump animation. Right. There it is. Let's see if it pops out. Yep. Okay. Oh, I think I know why that happened. Yes. Okay. That happened because this has a behavior of solid. And the other thing, I think that's why. But I could be wrong. I could be fooling myself. Let's see. Come to think of it, I don't think that was a problem because we're not using platform behavior for the fishman. We're just using code. So I have a feeling, yeah, something else is at work here. Oh, I know exactly what it is. Okay. And Corey figured it out. It is here in this very event that makes him move upward. He is, of course, not below the Y floor height in this situation because he is spawned below it. So what I can do is I can just copy this and we'll just bring it right into level 3's events. We'll paste it down here. And now we're going to make this. So he's already covered for, and we're going to replace that with the fishman. Replace object, this with fishman. And then now we just have to change this to be greater than or equal. And it should certainly, definitely, famous last words, work now. There he comes. Oh, yep, and like I said, 20 is too high a number. Eventually he will come landing down here. But do we want to wait that long? Apparently 20 is way too high a number. Alright, let's fix that. But the important thing, it is working. So when we spawn... And then we just need, and I think he should just go about his business. Ooh, look at that. Oh, but he didn't land like I expected him to. Interesting. Why is that the case? But hey, we're getting there. So let's make this 11 because that was too high. And we'll live with that height for now and just fix the rest of the bugs, and then we can tweak the exact. And we can use decimal points to really tweak it. Like if 11 is too low and 12 is too high or whatever. Why did he not land? That's back out in the universal code. So for one thing, or I should say the gameplay events, Y velocity is greater than 0. So this is when the algorithm finally makes you start falling. So this definitely works. Set animation to fall. Let's make sure he has an animation fall. No, he does not. Okay. Well, that's one of the issues. Let's see if that's completely the issue. So if so, that'll be really easy to fix. So, but this should still work. Regardless of not having a fall animation, it should not matter because now it is greater than the bounding box top. The Y velocity would be greater than 0. Oh, he's still playing jump. That's why. That makes perfect sense. But actually, we did not need this, did we? It just turned out it was another issue. So we can just get rid of this and then it'll work?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So let's try that. Also, so much was going on and the bugs were on my mind. I wasn't paying attention to how the splash looked. Did you see it? Is it too fast, too slow?
Yeah, I wasn't paying close attention.
Oh, it's pretty nice, actually.
Seems alright.
Look at that. Look at that. It's mostly working, except he's spawning a million. Yeah, he's not quite waking back up for some reason. So this is definitely taking effect now. Is his walk animation spelled with lowercase? No, that's the same. So he should be going into walk. He should be... You know what? Something here. So why is this happening instantaneously? Oh, okay. I see. Because it doesn't care what the animation is. So even if it's walk, this is gonna keep triggering as true. So I could theoretically just add trigger once while true.
Yeah.
Trigger once while true. Let's see if that fixes that issue. There he is. Here he comes. Oh, that was interesting. That was very interesting. It's almost like his Y velocity was not set to 0, even though it says right there, set it to 0. Oh, it's our event that we added for Fishman pretty sure. Let's see what this says again. Level 3 events. Level 3 events, yep. Down here. Yep. This should definitely say, see how this doesn't check what the Y velocity value is? Even though it's using it and affecting it, it's adding to it. So this is the problem. This should be, Y velocity would have to need to be greater than. Add another condition, Fishman. We're getting close. Compare instance variable. Y velocity is greater than 0. Oh wait, no, this is for less than. This is to go up. Less than 0. Okay. That should have fixed it. You know, the other thing we could do is make sure that the animation has to be jump. We might as well, for the extra security, so to speak. Add another condition, Fishman. Alright, so Fishman, compare animation, jump. I think it's lowercase like that. Okay, let's try again. Oops. Yes.
Nice.
That was a thing of beauty. Alright, and now if I scroll the screen a little more, we'll test the one from the other direction. Oh, I guess, did he already... Oh no, those were ones that are just there normally. Here it comes. Here's the shadow. Beautiful. We got it. Alright, very cool. That's all we needed to do for this video. So, thanks everyone very much for watching.